Welcome back, viewer. This is Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about online writing. What do you do on online writing? How do you find your clients on online writing? What are the pros and cons when it comes to matters to do with online writing? Send in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So before we went on a break, I was asking, how do you tell or how do you know that Jerry is the one who has registered for this account, or the documents that I've presented, it is Jerry 100% and it is not Eunice who is hiding behind Jerry's account? How do you verify, or how can a client verify on the same? Is there any way?
We have what we call the KYC, the mode of verification, whereby we have some key documents that will ask you, and we shall term them as personal documents. So for you to get those personal documents, at some point, you ought to have gotten the information of that person. So the person maybe is almost or fully aware of what you're doing with these documents. So that person is like, the account is his, but it's like it's a mode of subcontracting. Yeah, because he's aware of the account, but is unable to do it. So you're having it because you have it. We have so many instances whereby I have an account, but the account is reading a totally different name, based as per the one who is annulling the questions. And let me tell you one thing also. So many of the accounts that you see in online platform, they are female accounts. Yeah, I don't want to go much into that.
Wait, in as much as you don't want to go into that, why is it that most of the accounts are female accounts? Is it that female are more good in writing than male, or is it that it's a field dominated more by? Give us just a brief, maybe, analysis on the same. Why would you say that the analysis that you've done, it's more on female than male? Is it not a 50-50 thing where you can say also a man can thrive on the same?
It is because most men are hiding under female accounts.
And why? Why are we having that? Is it that if I get you as a male person who is going to do it for me, why should you hide in a female account?
Because they are more marketable.
Okay.
Female accounts are more marketable than male accounts, and it's tried and tested. I once had a male account. It took me so long to get a job, and I currently have a female account, and it's doing pretty well.
Wow.
We are going for something that will make us benefit in terms of money. So, and if it doesn't harm anyone or anything, then why wouldn't we go for it?
Okay, that's interesting hearing, because now I'm thinking in different avenues and in different workspace, you'll have people say this is like, let's say for example, in the kitchen, we say women thrive better because it's their area of domination. But now we are having a lot of male coming up in the same. Is it that, is it the client who is more interested in having a female working for them, or is it that the male had already tarnished the reputation for other male, that now they are afraid to work with the male gender?
No, I'd say the presentation and everything, we tend to look where we are able to maximize on our potential. Because it's like, if we get on the road and see all the cars are being right-hand driven on the right-hand side, going to a certain direction, we'll just follow it. Why? Because we want to reach to our destinations. So I don't have a clear explanation as to why we're using female accounts more, but we know when I have a female account, I'll get the jobs. Actually, there are some people who graduated, and funny enough, they don't have those accounts, but their pictures are there. There's anything that to verify that they aren't using their accounts. But as long as their personal properties or personal identification is not exposed, then what's the reason of not going for it?
Wow, that one is interesting. Just to think about it, and I'm now thinking, if you by any chance have to use me, or maybe use my name, or just using my name to hide under my account. So I'm Eunice, Jerry is hiding under my account simply because I'm a female. Are you going to cost share your profit, or are you just going to use my name and say, hey, peace out? How do you balance that? Or are you just using it and I'm also not aware that you're using my name to do it?
Actually, I was almost asking you the same question. How do you know I'm using your account? Because we have millions of accounts there, so how are you able to tell that it's you who am using it? Unless you're seeing your picture there, and will you go through all those accounts to find your picture there?
Wow. Is it that not being fraudulent?
No, it's not.
But if I find you and you're using my photo and my details, what if I try to take an action against you?
Which action?
Like report you. I don't have this account. You've been using, you've been earning. Give me a percent or a share.
For you to access that platform, you need to have an account. So you have to prove how comes you don't have an account. Because in some instances, maybe your account and my account will be closed. So we'll be on the losing end. And for me, I'll go back, get another picture, and continue what I'm doing. So it's not more of fraudulent, but it's more of getting out of the box and trying to fit in that society.
Wow. Fit in that society. Viewer, what is your take on the same? Would you want to find your photo on a platform, someone impersonating you but doing a good job by the end of the day, and you're not taking credit on the same? What is your take on the same? Send in your question across our social media. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So coming back to you now, how do you receive your task? You've mentioned about an application or somewhere. What is your mode of communication? Is it email, or is it now the app where you just do a lot of chatting and maybe calls back and forth? How do you, and also, do you on the same, how do you get referrals? You've worked for me, I'm happy. Can I refer a friend? Can I refer a classmate? And how are the reference coming across when it comes to business now, taking it into the business perspective?
Well, that's nice. You know what majorly happens is the platform that we're using has two sections, the student and the teacher. So the student part will post a question or the project that he or she wants to be done. So it will be, now when it's posted, I'll do what you call bidding. So bidding is whereby me as a teacher, I'll come and tell you, hey, student, I'm offering this amount of money per page to do your work. So you'll get a chance to chat with me and tell me, no, this is too much, or okay, take on the task. So once I've taken on the task, now you'll deposit the same agreed amount to the escrow. And I take up on the work. Yeah, so it's just that simple.
So if I'm satisfied and I want to refer someone else to you, will it be a direct now reference where I can say you can work with Jerry, or is it also on the bidding? Because if you bid and I'm not comfortable with your ratings, then someone else will bid, from what I understand, and I'll take person B and leave you out. But looking at it, maybe I have worked with you before, but now at this case, I'm not able to work with you again because maybe of ratings. and when I'm going to person B, the rating might be a bit lower, but when it comes to the results, they're also not up to the standard maybe that you had shown. And as a client, maybe I may not be able to tell you, but my analysis would be that how now do I come in terms of referring? If I'm to refer someone, or if you're to sell yourself, how do you sell yourself to say my ratings are high because of A, B, C, D, and also encouraging me as the client to refer someone else to come to you? And I as the student, am I getting paid to refer you, a client, and say you're getting a lot of clients courtesy of me? How do you know that this person is coming in courtesy of this client? Is there any way of knowing all that?
So far, I haven't had where a client, a student is paid to refer. But what I can say is, at some point, what makes me experienced and what makes me a good teacher or a writer is, once you've done the work and you've presented to the client has a place where he or she will give the feedback. So it is upon that feedback that is averagely tallied to rate you on how good you are or how bad you are. Yeah.
Do you have a return policy? Someone is asking, do you have a refund policy if the work is not delivered on time?
Yeah. There's a refund policy if work is not delivered at the stipulated time. It's gone.
And what is the criteria that you use? Do you have when you say you do refunds, and also when you're taking up assignments, do you say maybe give me assignments 1 week prior, or give me time to work on it? Or is it just something that I'll just come post and tell you, hey, I need this one back in the next 2 hours?
Now, in the platform, you have a place where to say how long can you do the work. So no matter how much of work, how big is the work to be done, or how small it is, we have what you call packages. For example, we have a silver package, gold, and platinum. So platinum, maybe you say it's 600 word pages. So these are 600 word essay. I'm charging a certain amount, but I'm qualified in this field that I'm taking. So I don't need to go and do much research for me to be able to come up with the same answers. This is something that, yes, I've taken up the task because I went through the task before bidding. So it shows that I'm able to do the work, and I'm able to do the work at the stipulated time because it is usually indicated there. Most work usually take maybe 24 hours and above. So I have to do a certain amount of work in 3 days. So in 3 days, I have to do the task and I have to deliver at the correct time. Yeah.
What are the advantages of working online? For you as now the teacher, as you call it, what are the advantages of working online?
You went to school, you did a course, you didn't get a job. So you get a place to explore the field of the certain academics that you did.
But again, isn't this only in matters to do with just writing? What if whatever I did is more of practical? Because, for instance, let's take, here we are, I'm a journalist. I'm good at talking. I'm good at doing the interviews. And here you are. It's also a platform. It's online writing, so it requires me to do a lot of thinking, a lot of research, a lot of writing. Not that I have a problem with that, but it's also limiting me in terms of exposure. How do you strike a balance on that?
You have to understand that online writing is not only just writing. There's tutoring, whereby you get live with this student and talk and show him how it's supposed to be done. Writing doesn't mean just you have to write content and sentences. It includes even mathematical formulas. It includes projects, working projects, and well-defended projects, the thesis. So it is a wide field. When you talk of online, don't think just I give you some sentences and then you just give me answers. No, you also have to support them with valid references. That's why I'm telling you, taking up a task, you have to ensure that you're able to do it. That's why almost each and every task has its amount that is being charged. Yeah, this is because of its complexity.
So, for lack of better words, would say online writing, like you've just said, it's not only writing, but it's also more of like a school. That you are saying you are on an online platform of schooling, but rather now you're not being coached by your school teacher, but rather an outsider teacher, being tutored on whatever field that you're good in.
True.
Wow, interesting. So, do you have problems or do you have complaints when it comes to a student? Because from where I'm seated, taking for example, maybe now from an early stage, COVID brought about this and putting us out there when it comes to matter to do with online. Before we didn't have so much of online, but from past COVID and now from COVID came, we are having a lot of online, even graduations and everything. Now, in school, if I'm an offline student, in school, there is a way our teacher is showing us a formula. Let's say we're talking about mathematics. There's this way that the teacher has shown us this formula. Engineering, there is this way the teacher sees it best as a method to achieve this answer or to achieve this result. And now here on online, you are using a different formula but achieving the same goal. How do I now strike and not get lost in between when I'm saying I'm coming to you as a teacher to get the tutorial or to get this task done, and now you're tutoring me to be able to achieve that and not get lost in between you as a tutor, a private tutor, and at school, the teacher who is in school? Because in as much as the teacher might be diverse, I as the student might be lost there because I'm working to acquire or to be getting those grades. How do I balance that now from my side?
Now, on the online side, it's simple. You know, what the teacher is giving you, it is the same thing that we are giving you. So, the content that is being displayed by the teacher is just that the teacher is more of like he is physically there with you. But
the formula is different. Let's say, for example, 5 plus 5 is 10. 6 plus 4 is 10. 3 plus 7 is 10. The ultimate is 10, but we've used different formulas.
And in studies, I'll generally put it, or in mathematics, as long as you're able to prove that your method is right, then there is a mark.
Yes.
So we don't have a stipulated method that you must follow. Like you must follow this method so that you can come up with an answer, unless you have been told in the instructions that use this certain method. So at the end of the day, no matter how you perceive that 10 to be, if I say 5 plus 5 is 10 and I'm able to prove it, then if I say 7 plus 3 is 10 and I'm able to prove it, then we are always and almost on the right track.
How do you balance from a fast learner to a slow learner? Because now I'm looking at it from a slow learner. If my understanding ability or my grasping level is very low compared to person B who is understanding very easily. So if I tell him or her 3 plus 7 is 10, then I don't have to count the balls and showing that indeed whatever I've told you is, you just have to say it and I'm able to understand and grasp it. How now do you balance that, or how do you look into it so that by the end of the day you're able to maintain this client with their flaws?
If you're doing tutoring, there's a student teacher interaction. The way the student answers the question, how active he or she is in the class session, then you're just easily able to tell how good is the student. If you've repeated something twice, and the student isn't easily grasping it, then it clearly shows that this is a student that needs, like, you just tone down and you go slow on the student. But we have some students who will be like, they'll also challenge you. I know this, it works this and this and this and this. And when you get such a student, you're only doing what you call top-ups. Yes, up to here you're right, but you need to add this and this and this and you're good. So you also have different charges for the students based on those two levels.
Ah. And is it stipulated from the word go? Or is it something that comes in addition, depending with, like you mentioned, the student-teacher interaction?
Now, the student-teacher interaction, I'll be able to tell you how good it is. And suppose I'm giving you 5 classes in a week. Once the classes are over, once you've paid for the classes, for the 5 classes being over, you'll have to repay again if you didn't understand some. And you have me, for if it's 1 hour, you have the 60 minutes to ask me all the questions that you have. So what usually happens is, for a slow learner is, this slow learner is, we are unable, if we are targeted in these 5 days, an hour a day, we wanted to cover a certain topic, we want to be able to finish covering this topic. Why? Because you spent much time explaining it to you, so until you grasp. So for us to finish these classes, what do you have to do? To repay again.
Isn't that being unfair to me? Because now I'm thinking, if I was in school and amount X is what I'm paying for school fees, here I'm coming to you to tutor me because I'm not able to understand or to acquire everything at that stipulated time. Isn't it not just fair enough to tell me that until you're able to understand, this is the amount you're able to pay?
It's very unfair because I'll be putting so much input at a low cost. And also, you have to get to a point whereby, if you're transitioning from class 1 to class 2, if you didn't understand anything in class 1, you have to go for extra remedial. And this extra remedial, they cost money.
And that is why I'm contracting you.
And that's just why you've contracted me. But also, we have a stipulated time that we have to work. I can't be with you for 3 hours a day with a 1 hour pay. You see? So if you want extra, you have to go extra for it. Because we are also having energy, and this person, most of these people who are doing tutoring, they have so many classes, they have the schedules. So can you imagine spending maybe 3 hours for a 1 hour pay? I'm sure even for you, you wouldn't go for that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not our own judgment, but it's something that you usually have to encounter, and they have to pay the price.
Wow. I think, I don't know, what would you say, or how would you put it out there as we are winding up? Would you say that online classes are better than offline classes, or is it a striking balance depending on an individual?
It depends with personally for team building, I'd advise for offline classes. But if it gets to a point whereby you have to do online classes, then we also don't blame you. Yeah, because circumstances will lead you to do what you'll be doing.
Okay, what is your parting shot on the same?
Online writing, it's good, it's paying well, and it's all about getting the right skills, and don't go for something that you're unable to deliver, because these accounts are always closed if you don't deliver and if you don't meet the minimum threshold. Yeah, so just be careful, go for it, and everything will work.
Thank you so much for coming on show and educating us more on online writing. Viewer, I hope you've learned as much as I have on online writing. My take home is make sure as you get an account, whatever you put out there that you are able to deliver, it's exactly what you're going to deliver. Be accountable to yourself and also to your client. Let's continue this conversation online across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. Till next time, have a nice time. Goodbye.